Hi everybody, Cheryl and Lady and Fluffer coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home, and it's time to get ready to sow our tomatoes. So I thought I would take you with me today as I choose what types and varieties I'm going to be planting this year. So I hope you join us. I have so many tomato packets. Whew. I'm honestly not sure how I came by so many different types of tomato seed packets. I can't really blame anybody but myself. Apparently I have a problem. Anyway, in determining what I'm going to choose to grow this year, there are a couple of factors I really have to keep in mind. One is, I guess most importantly, my space. I have, if you follow me, I have a pretty small backyard. I've turned as much of it, I think, as possible into garden space. And I'll show you my setup and where I'm going to be planting them in a bit. But I also have to really think about what is it that I want to get out of my tomato crops. So there's a couple of things. One is I really love the cherry tomatoes, the little small ones, to snack on in the garden. They're the best. It makes my summer, to be honest with you, and very few of them even make it into the house. Guilty. And then I want to make tomato sauce and salsa and that kind of thing, and for those kinds of dishes, the paste tomatoes. And then of course there's the slicers, the big juicy ones. Some of them don't have to be big, but you know, some of them are more flavorful than others. They have different kinds of hints of different flavors depending on the colors. So there's a wide variety of tomatoes to choose from to sow. Hence my problem. So as you may know, there are different types of tomato plants. You've got your indeterminates. Those are the plants that just grow indeterminately until they're killed by frost, in the fall. And those are the ones that can grow, 8-10 feet if you don't really control it. And they take a lot of care because you do have to trim them back and prune them. And then there's your determinate tomatoes, and those are generally the paste kind of sauce tomatoes, and they're really bred to grow. They're really meant to grow to a certain height, usually not as tall as the indeterminates. You're going to get maybe to 4 feet high, and then they put on all their flowers, all their fruits, and you harvest them pretty much around the same time, and it's great to, if you're going to be making sauces and canning and that kind of stuff, you kind of get this flush of tomatoes all at once. And then you've got your intermediate determinants, meaning they grow a little bit taller, but not quite as tall as your determinants. And they also, pretty much put on a flush of, a group of tomatoes at once, and you harvest them around the same time. Then, of course, you've got your bush tomatoes. Those are the ones that are lower to the ground. Sometimes people call them patio tomatoes because you can put them in a pot and they fit nicely on, a back deck or a porch. So with those kind of things in mind, what I'm going to do before I even choose my varieties is I'm going to put them in these categories because I know where I want to plant certain types. In this bed, I've got 10 8-foot tall stakes. These stakes have served me quite well. It's plenty tall for the indeterminate tomatoes to grow to their heart's content all summer long. And grow bags up along this wall here is where I've planted pretty densely my cherry tomatoes. And in this bed, I have room for 11 indeterminate tomatoes. After a couple of years of trial and error, I went with this system, and it's been working for me great for the last 2 years. It's a bunch of these, 8-foot stakes. Then I have this netting. It's almost like fishnet, and it works great. The poles support the center of the plant growing up, and then as the vines go out, I can just twist them and wrap them around the netting. So that gives great support. So I've got that room there. And then for the smaller determinate tomatoes, if I want, I could put them in some grow bags and use these tomato cages, which I don't like for the big indeterminates, but they're fine for the smaller plants and also the peppers. And yes, they're still working out here as Christmas trees with lights wrapped around them. I'm sorry, I just like the way it looks. And then I can plant some up here on the deck as well. Now the moment of truth here, okay? Now from what I showed you, I've got room up on the deck, and I think I'm going to put some cherry tomatoes there. Smaller patio tomatoes, like the sweet pea currant tomato, that looks adorable. This red currant type tomato produces an abundance of jewel-like, adorable quarter-inch fruits on long trusses, which are excellent for fresh eating and garnishes. Okay, and this is the one that only gets to be about 2 feet tall, so I could probably put this in the green stalk or on one of the deck containers. I've got this yellow pear cherry tomato, this midnight snack hybrid, which I will find a picture of because it doesn't have a picture on it, but this is one that I did not grow last year purposely. It reseeded for me and just grew as a volunteer. And then I kind of regretted not having at least started it last year. I kind of dismissed it, but it is a very interesting tomato. It starts out really kind of black, actually, and then it gets a little bit green at the bottom, and then it gets a little purpley at the bottom, and then it gets red at the bottom, and that's when it's ripe. So it's a very unusual looking, and it has a very distinct flavor. I would say it is a acidic, crispy flavor, if that makes sense. And then the Sun Gold, which I loved, and it seems like this is almost everybody's favorite on all the gardening channels, and there's a reason for this. These are so sweet, low acidic, and they're just so much fun to pop in your mouth. My son gets angry that I don't save him more. And then I thought this was very interesting. This is called the Mandarang Moon Tomato, and this is a picture of it. This is from Hudson Valley Seed Company. They have these beautiful little art packets. And this is a small, pale, tasty fruit grown on stout, disease-tolerant vines. I like the disease-tolerant, but I also like the fact that this is very yellow. So I'm going to have some colorful cherry tomatoes this year. And which ones I'm going to choose? I'm going to start all of them, to be honest with you. I've got room on the deck, and I've got room for about 6 plants in those cherry tomato grow bags that I showed you. So we're going to start all of those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's not crazy. All right. So let's move on to the sauce tomatoes. 3 different San Marzanos. Which, by the way, are not really supposed to be called San Marzanos in the United States because Italy kind of has a block on that copyright. because of where it grows, San Marzano. It's kind of like calling all bubbly wine champagne, even if it doesn't come from the Champagne region of France. Anywho, we're in America. And then this was one I grew 2 years ago. It's very unusual looking, but it did well for me, and it does have pretty good size tomatoes that are good for sauce making. And by that I mean sauce tomatoes don't have a lot of seeds. They don't have a lot of that squishy stuff in the middle. I don't know what you call that. They just have a lot of flesh. And so when you're cooking with them, they don't cook down so much to like a little watery gloop. Like, say if you were to use just, a regular slicer tomato, that might happen. So they're a little bit better for cooking with, especially sauces and pastes and, for pizza and that kind of thing. So this is Cesaria's Canestrino de Luca tomato, which I could never remember the name of unless I was staring at it, but I'm going to try that again. This speckled Roman tomato, I really, really like this. I honestly like this one better than the San Marzanos. Don't tell the San Marzanos that. Because they're bigger, and I think that they cook down better. They just cook better. And then I am going to do, what else? Oh, this Amish paste I've heard good things about. I tried growing this last year. I think I had a germination problem. We're going to try it again. And then this Blue Beach tomato, a true beauty, dry, dense flesh, and sweet enough to savor raw. Okay, it looks pretty too. All right, so those are my sauce tomatoes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types. Hey, guess what? I'm going to grow all of them. That was easy to narrow down now, wasn't it? And now for the slicers. And I call them that because, those are the ones that are really good for fresh eating and salads, caprese salads, with some mozzarella and some basil. Oh, nothing better in the summer. Sandwiches, that kind of thing. And then I have the ones that I save seeds from. Okay, we have Prudence purple tomato. Doesn't look purple, but that's what it's called. This tomato's flavor, comparable to the brandy wine, is rich and delicious. Its earliness, high yield, and tolerance for challenging conditions make it a reliable friend in the tomato patch. Ah, okay, that sounds good. Pineapple tomato. I thought this was just stunning. Releasing the tropical vibes of a freshly picked and sliced pineapple tomato can turn any day into a treat-yourself day. All right. Well, it's saying that it brightens your plate and your palate and your mood. So I'm excited to try that one. Looks very pretty. Black Krim. So this is one that gardeners all over the world swear by. And this says, and it's supposed to do well, especially in northern type climates. It's a Russian heirloom that originated, this Russian heirloom originated in Krimsk on the Black Sea in Russia. Baseball-sized fruits weigh 10 to 12 ounces and have reddish-brown flesh filled with a rich, slightly salty flavor. Fruit sets well in heat and is a reliable black tomato, producing even under adverse condition from summer to fall. Okay. All right. So we're going to try that. This is one, I have saved seeds from these as well. The striped striped German tomato. This is one of my absolute favorite tomatoes. It's low acidic. It's very pretty. You see the pink at the bottom. Honestly, you can't do wrong with this. I cook with this sometimes too. It's just very pretty. This beefsteak tomato is smooth and flavored with complex fruity notes. I would definitely say this has fruity notes. We're going to plant that one. Mortgage lifter and mortgage lifter, commonly weighing in over 2 pounds. These mammoth tomatoes packs flavor. That's not right. These mammoth tomatoes, it should be pack flavor. Okay. All right. Now that I've finished editing that one, beefsteak tomato. It's a large variety that is grown for slicing. The fruits are very meaty and have small seed cavities. Perfect for sauces, so you can use this to make sauces too. Perfect for sauces, salads, burgers, sandwiches, and even grilling. Ooh. That sounds good. Kellogg's Breakfast. I grew these last year. I love these. These were quite good. This is a West Virginia heirloom made famous by a humble farmer. Darrell Kellogg preserved the variety in Redford, Michigan. Its bright orange fruit bursts with sweetness, a favorite amongst many seasoned gardeners. Okay, so it's a very pretty, bright yellow one. Didn't I do black creme already? Oh. This is another black creme, but you can see that's what it looks like. And I think I'm going to use this to substitute what I have grown in the past, which looks very much like it, called the Berkeley tie-dye stripe. I've grown that a couple of times in a row. I found in the last couple of years I've had fungus issues on them, and then the harvest wasn't too terrific. So I'm going to go with the black creme this time, hoping that this might give me a little bit better results. So I'm not going to grow the Berkeley tie-dye this year. Jersey Breeze tomato. Let's take a look at this. This one gets 85 inches. That's really tall. Juicy and tender 10 to 12 ounce slicing tomato with excellent reliability and good disease resistance. Okay, we really definitely want to grow that one. The tomato oxheart, it's a pretty tomato. It's not too large, but it does come in a little heart like that. It's very pretty. But I think I'm going to try this Jersey Breeze instead of that one. It looks like it'd probably be a good substitute. And then I just have some seeds that I saved from tomatoes that I grew from supermarket tomato seeds during the great seed shortage of, well, the year that shall not be named. And I think I'm going to skip those this year and stick with the ones that I just mentioned to you. So how many is this? Let's see. 1, 2, that's the same kind. 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the same kind. 7, 8. Okay, well, I have space for 11 along the fence, and I have space for 10 in that bed that I showed you. So I have room to try all of these, maybe a couple of them each. So that's what we're going to do. I've got videos on a playlist that I just put together based on a couple of videos that I did over the years. It's called Seed Starting and Seedling Care, and I will link that playlist at the end of this video. So that's it. Thanks for coming along and helping me decide. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And I hope you subscribe and check out what we've got coming up next. This is an exciting time of year. March changes so quickly. You go from feeling it's winter to really, well, being in spring. And of course, We had daylight savings time change this past weekend, so our days are getting longer. Well, really not really. It just seems that way because it seems like the evening is longer because we started later. We started earlier. I don't know. Time always confuses me. Anyway, from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye. Say goodbye, lady. Yoo-hoo. Get up and say goodbye. Come on. Take a look. Say hi. Yep. Lady says goodbye.